Welcome back yet again for another episode of That Was History. We've got great stories this week, including the first one that's pretty scandalous. But before we get into all that, I'm going to get myself a snack. So I found my snack.
Dude, this guy's got it all wrong. He's eating it too fast. You gotta split it open, take your time, and enjoy it.
I'll tell you what you do. You take it and you put in some milk. That's how you do it.
Dude. Then you can't have peanut butter with it.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, it makes the world better.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't matter where you eat them. It doesn't matter how you eat them. They're simply the best. This cookie is awesome. So tell us, how do you eat your copyrighted cookie?
So just think about this for a minute. You got your popcorn, your Coke, and you're all fired up to watch the annual Super Bowl football game. You get the hype excitement of the game and the amusement of the commercials, hey, like our commercial at the beginning. And then comes the halftime report and show that millions of people worldwide are watching. Well, in 2004, the Super Bowl halftime show would be anything but forgettable. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake performed, and during the middle of the show, he ripped off a piece of her wardrobe, exposing her right breast. Consequently, on September 22nd of 2004, all CBS-owned stations would be fined a whopping $550,000 by the FCC. Whew, I wouldn't want to get stuck paying that fine. And actually, CBS wouldn't have to either after the U.S. Court of Appeals voided their fine in 2008.
Has your mom ever said this to you? You'd better be thankful for that, because there are people over in such and such a place that are starving. Yeah, you've no doubt heard it if you don't finish your food somewhere or try and throw something out that is perfectly good. And this is due to the massive amounts of poverty that are in the world today. I mentioned poverty to make this point. During 1948, there was an overproduction of potatoes, and rather than shipping these potatoes out to countries that are stricken with poverty, the American government decided on September 23rd to cut production for potatoes in 1949. This would lower the cost for consumers, but naturally this meant less food for the world.
The attack on Pearl Harbor that threw America into World War II will never be forgotten. Like many tragedies, many innocent citizens and soldiers were killed without even a chance to defend themselves. Since that day, many have speculated as to what America could have done to avoid these attacks. While hindsight is 20/20, America should have paid a little more attention to the suspicious activity of the Japanese consul. On September 24th of 1941, the consul was ordered to calculate the number of battleships in and around Pearl Harbor and then report back to Japan. This was used later to plan the attacks that would create the day that would live in infamy.
We've had other segments similar to this one in the past. We've talked about how we have our cell phones, but we really don't think about the technology that's involved or how they work. While this is truly impressive, I would have to say that the resources available to the United States and Europe in the past in 1956 could one-up our technology today. On September 25th of 1956, the United States began an underwater telephone service to Europe. It took over 2,250 miles of cable and it passed through the Atlantic Ocean. While wireless makes things easier today, you have got to admire those who used the wired technology of yesterday to get things done.
So let me put the spotlight on all you who were born before 1960. You all remember the presidential debates. You all would crowd around the radio and listen to what each candidate had to say. But then came September 26th of 1960. On this day, the presidential debate between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon would be aired on TV for the first time with an estimated 80 million viewers. Ultimately, this would be seen as a successful debate for Kennedy, who was considered the winner.
Have you ever been to a city where it seems like there are car dealerships on almost every street? I know I have. In fact, my hometown, there's a street with about 5 dealerships on one road, and they're all bunched together. If you don't like this guy's prices, you can just go across the street. Well, it wasn't that simple around the time frame of September 27th of 1946. It was almost impossible to find a new car because the car dealerships hadn't been converted back to vehicle production yet. This was mainly due to the recent end of World War II. If you did find a car, you could expect to pay about 25% more than the price guides given by the factories. The vehicles ranged from about $1,000 to $2,000, And it's kind of funny because today you could expect to get this hot rod out of that price.
Oh, I think I'm gonna go to the doctor and see what's wrong. So I went to the doctor and he prescribed me a prescription for antibiotics. Anyways, I'm thankful for the accident that led to the discovery of these antibiotics. On September 28th of 1928, Alexander Fleming was away on a holiday when he discovered that there was a mold growing on one of his culture dishes. He noticed that it had a positive antibacterial effect on many organisms. This today is known as the drug penicillin and is the basic block for our antibiotics. Man, am I thankful for this accidental discovery, or I might just still be sick.
Well, unfortunately, guys, we didn't get a raise. So it looks like this is our last episode. If you like us, please tell us, because we're probably not coming back. Just kidding. We're coming back, and we've got a great episode next week for you, so you better be back on Friday.